I'm Sarah, welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I have got a very exciting video that has been kind of requested, and that is a DIY room decor video, and this one is inspired by Pinterest and Tumblr. So I'm super excited because I did a Pinterest, like testing out Pinterest DIYs video the other day, and it was super fun, and I was like, hey, I actually love DIYs, so that is why I'm bringing you guys this video. Hopefully you guys do enjoy it, and if you do, make sure to let me know down in the comments if you want to see more videos like this, and also make sure to subscribe if you like it too. But without further ado, let's get into the video. So for the tassel pillowcases, all you're going to need is some pillowcases, of course, and you're also going to need some yarn in whatever colors that you want, and you're going to need some scissors, some needles, and some cardboard. So the length of your cardboard is the length that you want your tassel to be, so make sure that you're keeping that in mind when you're cutting your pieces of cardboard. So the first thing that you want to do when you're making a tassel is go ahead and wrap a piece of yarn around your cardboard one time and then cut it off, and then you want to do the exact same thing, but this time you want to do it 1.5 times and then cut it off, and then you can go ahead and make your actual tassel. So for my tassel, I actually wrap the yarn around my cardboard about 40 times, but this depends on how thick your yarn is, so you just go with whatever feels best. Taking the longer piece of yarn, so the one you wrapped around the cardboard 1.5 times, you just want to thread it through the needle and then poke that needle underneath the yarn on the cardboard and just pull out one half of it, so then you can tie it up in a knot to secure all the yarn together. So this part is the hardest part about the whole DIY, and that's trying to get the piece of yarn off the piece of cardboard. And finally, once you have managed to do that, you just want to turn that single knot into a double knot, and taking that shorter piece of yarn that we cut off earlier, you want to go ahead and wrap that around the top piece of your tassel. And this is the step where it goes from being just like a lump of yarn to a real life tassel. And of course, the final step of making a tassel is cutting it off to turn it from a loop to an actual tassel. So that is the finished product. You just want to make about 1 billion more of those, and then you should be good to go and start threading them onto your pillowcase. But in all seriousness, my pillowcase took about 36 tassels, but I guess it depends on what size pillowcase you've got. But finally, when you're ready to get started on the actual pillowcase, you just want to thread the loose piece of yarn on your tassel through the needle and then start threading it onto your pillowcase. So I threaded it through my pillowcase about 2 times and then secured it off with a double knot. And once you have finally got your tassel on the pillowcase, any loose pieces of yarn that might look messy or anything can just be cut off with a pair of scissors. So for our braided pots, all you're going to need is a plant, a terracotta pot, and some clay. And the first thing that you want to go ahead and do is just take that clay and start cutting it off into chunks so it's a little bit easier to work with. And finally, when you've got a chunk, you just want to spray it with some water so it's easier to work with, and then you want to start rolling it out. So seeing as we will be braiding the clay, you just want to go ahead and make sure you've rolled out 3 strips of clay, and they're super thin and they're super seamless and they're not going to break in half. I'm sure everyone knows how to do a 3-strand braid, but if you don't, all you want to do is go ahead and have the 3 strands all laid out and just bring the outer strands into the center. So left into the center and then right into the center, and then you just keep repeating that process and you'll be done in no time. So once you've finally got your braids together, you want to go ahead and start attaching those braids to the pot. So all you want to do is wrap it around the outside of the pot, and later on, once it's dry, if it's not sticking, you can just take some hot glue and stick it on there, and then all you've got to do is wait for it to dry and you've got yourself a braided pot. Onto the jewelry hanger, all you're going to need is a template of a triangle, some cardboard, some clay, an X-Acto knife, some markers, some tapes, and some hooks. So these triangle templates are what I'm going to use to get this proper shape of my clay. So quickly, I'm just going to cut those out, and then using the X-Acto knife, I'm just going to cut that out into the cardboard as well, because this is the easier way to have a template for the clay with cardboard because it doesn't fall apart. So here is where things get messy, because clay is not easy to work with and it's super sticky. So take some water to make sure that it's not sticking to absolutely everything, and then take a rolling pin so you can roll out your clay. Just make sure you're not rolling it out too thin, because otherwise you won't be able to stick your hooks in. Once you've rolled out the clay, you can take your triangle template and an X-Acto knife, and you can carve out a triangle into the clay. And of course, the last step before we wait for this bad boy to dry is just sticking the hook into the clay so we've got somewhere to hang our jewelry. So the next day is my favorite part, because you get to go ahead and start being super creative on your little clay jewelry hanger. So all I'm going to do is take some tape and tape mine off, and I'm just going to color it into strips. I'm going to do a couple of different patterns on each one, but you'll see those ones in a second. The thing I love about this DIY is you can personalize it to yourself, and another cool thing is that if you get sick of the design that you do on it in the first place, you can just paint it all white or whatever color you want and start again. So to me, this is the most satisfying bit when I finally get to peel the tapes off and see what it's actually going to look like. So I was pretty happy with how my really basic stripes turned out, but as I said, you can do whatever pattern that you want to do on your triangles. And lastly, just in case you were wondering how I stuck these to the wall, I actually got some Velcro hanging strips from the hardware store. They don't damage the walls at all, so they're really good if you're renting or your parents just don't want you to hang anything. So that is it for the DIYs. Hopefully you guys did enjoy them, and if you did, make sure to comment down below if you want to see more videos like this. And while you're there, make sure to let me know which one was your favorite DIY. If I had to pick, it would definitely be the tassel pillowcases. I just think it's a really cool addition to my bed, so I'm pretty proud. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, make sure to subscribe to my channel, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Have a good day. Bye!